Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a mischievous little rabbit named Arnie. Arnie the Bunny, otherwise known as Arnie the Trickster, was famous for his clever tricks and the joy he found in outsmarting his friends. He had soft, fluffy fur as white as snow and ears that stood tall to catch every secret that whispered through the trees. Arnie lived in a cozy burrow at the edge of Cloverfield, a place where every rabbit wished to nibble on sweet grass and dance under the moonlit sky. But Arnie was not content with just nibbling or dancing. His delight came from concocting silly tricks that would leave all the creatures in the forest both baffled and amused. One sunny afternoon, while resting under the great oak, Arnie hatched his most daring plan yet. The annual Carrot Festival was only a few days away, and all the forest animals were excitedly preparing for the grand feast and games. Arnie thought to himself, what if I make a treasure hunt with a twist? I'll hide a golden carrot somewhere secret and leave a trail of mysterious clues for everyone to follow. With a twinkle in his eye, Arnie quickly hopped about gathering supplies. He found a shiny yellow leaf, painted it gold, and shaped it into a carrot. This would be the coveted prize. Then, he wrote quirky rhyming clues on parchment made from birch bark and scattered them all around the forest. The day of the festival arrived, and everyone gathered near the old well, where Arnie stood, eager and hopping with excitement. "Attention, friends of the forest!" he called out. "I, Arnie the Trickster, have hidden a golden carrot somewhere in these woods. Follow the clues, and let the adventure begin." The forest buzzed with delight as squirrels, foxes, raccoons, and even the wise old owl joined the hunt. Arnie's clues led them on a whimsical journey through flower beds and past babbling brooks, under weeping willows and over mossy stones. The final clue led them to a sparkling pool where, on a little rock, the golden carrot shining brightly under the sun was nestled. But just as they were about to claim their prize, Arnie popped out from behind a bush, laughing with glee. "Oh, Arnie, you got us again," chuckled Slimy the snake. "But what a jolly good adventure we've had." And indeed, they all agreed. The animals cheered for Arnie, thankful for his playful spirit. The golden carrot was placed in the village square for everyone to share as a reminder of the fun-filled day. From that day on, Arnie was not just known as the trickster, but also beloved for bringing laughter and joy to the forest with his clever antics. And so, Arnie the Trickster Bunny's legend grew, and with it, the forest became a place where smiles and surprises thrived all year round. Once upon a time, long ago, there was a boy named Mischief. His name fit him perfectly. He was adventurous, loved tricks and exploration, leaving no place unexplored and no opportunity unchallenged. One day, while Mischief was wandering through the forest near his village, he saw a strange light emanating from behind thick trees. Curiously, he approached it and found an old wooden door half open, hidden behind tree branches. The door seemed to lead to a place that no one had ever entered before. Mischief tried to open the door slowly. It creaked strangely. He pushed it harder and entered. He found himself in a narrow, dim passage with no end in sight, but Mischief didn't turn back. He continued cautiously until he reached a large hall lit by old lanterns hanging from the ceiling. On the floor, there was an old map and a small treasure containing a golden key. Mischief became excited at the sight and decided to take the map and key, thinking it could be the start of an exciting adventure. He left the hall and followed the map, which led him to a distant mountain behind the forest. Mischief climbed the mountain with difficulty, avoiding the rocks and dangerous cliffs. When he reached the top, he found a massive stone door. He inserted the golden key into the lock, and the door opened to reveal a magical world he never expected. Inside the magical world, he saw rare animals, amazing trees, and birds with colors he had never seen before. Mischief met a strange creature named Karkup, a small and friendly being resembling a squirrel, but able to speak. Karkub told him that this world was full of secrets and that there was a legendary treasure in a place called the Valley of Diamonds. But it was protected by giant beasts and magical skills that no one could easily face. Without hesitation, Mischief accepted the challenge, and he and Karkub journeyed through rivers and forests, overcoming many obstacles like a fast-flowing river and a snowstorm covering the valley. Karkub guided Mischief, giving him tips on overcoming obstacles and sometimes warning him of predatory creatures. After days of adventure, Mischief reached the Valley of Diamonds and was surprised to see a huge dragon guarding the treasure. Mischief stood bravely, trying to convince the dragon to let him pass. After a long discussion, the dragon was impressed by Mischief's courage and love for adventure and allowed him to take only one piece of diamond. Mischief took the sparkling diamond and returned to his village. When the villagers saw the diamond and the stories of his adventures shining in his eyes, Mischief became the village hero and a symbol of courage and love for exploration. From then on, Mischief continued to search for new adventures, always saying, "The world is full of secrets, and we must discover them." Once upon a time, while Sinbad was sailing the seas on his ship, he decided to rest with his crew on an island that seemed like a piece of paradise, full of fruit trees and colorful birds. After eating and enjoying the nature, Sinbad decided to explore the island alone, leaving his friends on the beach. As he wandered through the dense trees, he heard a loud roar coming from the direction of the forest. He cautiously approached to find out what was happening, and there he saw a giant dragon-like monster, surrounded by a cave of gold and jewels. Despite his fear, Sinbad couldn't resist his curiosity. He tried to get closer to examine the treasures, but as soon as he took a step, he felt a shadow fall over him. He looked up to find the dragon glaring at him. Sinbad quickly retreated, but stumbled and fell. The dragon sealed off the entrance to the cave with its massive wings, trapping Sinbad. Then, Sinbad tried talking to the dragon. "Oh, great dragon, I did not mean to disturb or harm you. I am just a sailor seeking adventures." Surprisingly, the dragon opened its mouth and spoke. "If you want to live, you must help me, for I have been cursed here for hundreds of years and cannot leave this place." Astonished, Sinbad asked, "How can I help you?" The dragon answered, "There is a magical necklace in an ancient temple at the top of the mountain on this island. This necklace will break my curse if worn." Without a second thought, Sinbad agreed to help the dragon and began his journey to the mountain's peak. The journey was filled with dangers, passing through dense forests, encountering strange animals and unusual creatures. Along the way, he met a strange man dressed in a blue cloak and wearing a large hat. The man said to Sinbad, "I am Shahab the Wise, guardian of this place, and I know you have come to free the dragon." The wise man gave him a bottle full of magical waters, saying, "On your journey to the necklace, you will face the temple guardian, a creature that can only be defeated with this water." Sinbad thanked him for the advice and continued his way. Finally, he reached the ancient temple, which was centered by a giant statue of a fierce guardian resembling a lion with a human body. As Sinbad approached, the guardian rose, trying to stop him from entering. Quickly, Sinbad opened the bottle and sprayed the water on the guardian, turning it to stone. Sinbad entered the temple and found the magical necklace resting on a high pedestal. He took it and rushed back to the dragon. As soon as he placed the necklace around the dragon's neck, its body began to shine and it let out a mighty roar. In an instant, the dragon transformed into a handsome young knight. The knight said to Sinbad, "You are brave and noble. You have freed me from the curse I was trapped in. I will reward you with my treasures and my golden ship, which can take you anywhere in the world as fast as the wind." Sinbad thanked the knight and said goodbye. Sinbad returned to his ship with the precious treasure and the magical ship, and set sail with his friends towards a new adventure, carrying another story to tell his loved ones upon returning to Baghdad. Once upon a time, in the green and vibrant countryside of Sweden, there lived a mischievous young boy named Nils Holgersson. Nils was 14 years old, and he was known all over his village for being a bit of a rascal. He loved playing tricks on the farm animals and often shirked his chores, much to his parents' chagrin. One sunny morning, while his parents were away at the market, Nils decided he would take a nap in the hayloft. Just as he was dozing off, something magical happened. A tiny elf appeared, shimmering with an ethereal glow. The elf was upset with Nils for his naughty behavior and decided to teach him a lesson. With a sprinkle of magical dust, Nils was transformed into a tiny boy, no bigger than the elf itself. In this new, tiny form, Nils realized he could understand the language of the animals. He befriended a wise, old goose named Martin, and together, they embarked on a journey across the vast landscapes of Sweden. As Nils rode on Martin's back, he encountered many different animals. From proud reindeer in the north to playful otters in the south. Each animal had a story to tell and a lesson to teach Nils about kindness, bravery, and friendship. Along their journey, Nils began to see the world from a different perspective, and he grew to appreciate the beauty and harmony of nature. One evening, as the sky was painted with hues of orange and purple, Nils and Martin rested on a hillside, overlooking a glistening lake. It was then that Nils realized how much he had changed during his adventures. He longed to return to his family, but he wanted to do so as a better person. As the journey continued, Nils and Martin faced challenges that tested their courage and strengthened their bond. Eventually, as the first snow of winter fell, the elf reappeared, satisfied with the change in Nils. With a twinkle in his eye, the elf restored Nils to his original size. Returning home, Nils was welcomed by his family, who were surprised by his transformation, both in size and in character. No longer a mischievous boy, Nils told them of his adventures and the friends he made along the way. A warm sense of happiness and gratitude filled the air as Nils embraced his family, vowing to always appreciate the wonderful world around him. And so, Nils Holgersson learned the value of kindness and friendship, and he carried these lessons in his heart for the rest of his days. His adventures left a lasting impression, not only on him, but on everyone he met along the way.